அரங்காவலர் மற்றும் இணை ஆசிரியர் டாக்டர் ஏபிஜேஎம் நசிமா மாணிக்யார் அவர்களே, எம்சிடி தலைவர் டாக்டர் மாணிக்கம் அவர்களே, எழுத்தாளர் மற்றும் கவிஞர் டாக்டர் சிரிபி பாலசுப்ரமணியம் அவர்களே, ஏகேஐஎஃப் இணை நிறுவனர் திரு ஏபிஜேஎம்ஜே ஷேக் சலீம் அவர்களே, ஷேக் தாவூத் அவர்களே, அனைவருக்கும் மனமார்ந்த வணக்கம். இந்த விழாவில் நான் உங்களுடன் கலந்து கொள்வதில் மிக்க மகிழ்ச்சி அடைகிறேன். ஏபிஜே அப்துல் கலாம் நினைவுகளுக்கு மரணமில்லை என்னும் புத்தகத்தை வெளியிடுவதில் நான் மிக்க மகிழ்ச்சி அடைகிறேன். I really feel very, very happy to release this book written by his niece. Najima ji, that too in Tamil, because the best way to reach the masses, the people, is writing and publishing, also speaking their mother tongue. I really compliment Dr. Najima ji and also Sri Rajan, who co-authored this book, for this good endeavor. Dr. Abdul Kalam ji is really great son of this great country. The title of the book, Nenai Ugalarukku Maranamide, which translate as Immortal Memories. This is a very apt subtitle to celebrate and remember the immensely popular former president, who was a multifaceted personality, a renowned scientist, great patriot, educator, administrator, known as People's President, and above all, a great human being and an inspiration to all. His initiatives, the contributions to strengthen India's defense and space capabilities are unparalleled. Despite all his achievements, he remained as a man of utter simplicity, warmth, honesty. I had the good fortune to interact with Dr. Kalamji many times. He was in DRDO, later President of India too. Every time I met him, I was struck by his simplicity, the depth of his knowledge, and his desire to transform the lives of the people, particularly the common people of India. Friends, Mahatma Gandhi ji used to say, "My life is my message." This could very well be applied to Dr. Kalam ji also, who practiced what he has preached. Dr. Kalam is often quoted for his inspirational words, but in order to really understand him and the significance of those words, we need to look at the life that shaped his thoughts and deeds so. So for a change, I would like to ponder what Dr. Kalam did in his life, rather than focusing only on what he had said. We can imbibe a lot of good qualities from his great personality by looking at how he dealt with each situation in his life. Born into a poor, ordinary family, Dr. Kalam had to sell newspapers as a boy to supplement his family income. He was an average student in the school, but is known to be intelligent and hardworking, who always had a insatiable thirst for knowledge. He always had a positive outlook towards life, never believed a problem is insurmountable. That is the attitude one needs to adopt. Mark good life. Dear brothers and sisters, one of our biggest strengths today is demographic dividend. 65% of the country's population is below 35 years. And 50% of the population is below 25 years. It's a great demographic dividend. We need to fully leverage this dividend to fast-track progress in different sectors, from agriculture to manufacturing, and ensure a sustainable growth rate in the coming years. This is the time for the youth of the country to be at the forefront in accelerating the progress and scripting India's growth story. The youth must be in the forefront of scripting the India's growth story. I urge the youth to take a leaf out of Dr. Kalam's book and believe in themselves. They must aspire to become job creators rather than job seekers. As Dr. Kalamji said, dream is not that which you see while sleeping. It is something that does not let you sleep. Great words. He further advised the youth, don't read success stories. You'll only get a message. Read failure stories. You'll get some ideas to get success. Dr. Kalam often said that he considered children to be the first scientists, since they keep asking the questions, why, about everything. I believe this curiosity is the gateway to truly unlocking the creative potential of every child. I have been stressing the need to overhaul our education system to make learning an enjoyable experience right from primary education. Students must be encouraged to pose questions and think critically. This new educational policy is a great leap in this regard. Does away with the artificial segregation between the curricula and extracurricular activities and aims at the holistic development of the child. You need to have physical training. You need to have moral sciences. You need to have craft classes. You need to really have gardening, to be friendly with the nature, because nature, culture, together for better future. And this should be taught from the childhood itself. We were taught like that initially. Expect subsequently, many changes have come and many of these important things are omitted. Now the new educational policy is suggesting the same. I hope that every state and every institution will follow the spirit of the new educational policy and implement it. Dr. Kasturi Rangan and his team really deserves praise for the hard work they have done. We need to develop the child holistically. Dr. Kalam always believed in the inherent potential of every child. He once remarked, quote, the best brains of the nation may be found on the last benches of the classroom, indicating the importance of not understanding the capability of any child. Not to underestimate because of not understanding. So you must really understand the child and do not underestimate their capabilities. You need to spot that capability and encourage. That is what is needed. Perhaps a future scientist or a future president might emerge from the last benches. Who knows? One attribute of Dr. Kalamji that stood out was his passion to ignite young minds of India. Whether as a scientist or president or ex-president, he was always visiting schools, colleges, research institutes and interacting with students. Such was his passion to talk to the young generation that even after his retirement, he became a visiting professor in various IIMs and intellectual institutions. He inspired thousands of students through his unforgettable words, magnetic presence, and a warm smile on his face. The former president firmly believed in using technology for the benefit and well-being of the society. Dr. Kalamji will always be remembered for his indomitable spirit and never say die attitude even in the face of adversity. He pursued and persisted with discipline, hard work, and confidence, along with the development of India's indigenous satellite launch vehicles. He is also credited with the development of India's Integrated Guided Missile Development Program, IGMDP. In fact, Dr. Kalam can be credited with laying strong foundation of Atmanirbhar Bharat in our space and defense sectors, which our scientists and engineers are building today. The legacy of self-belief Dr. Kalam left is what motivated us to develop our own vaccines today. Yesterday, the country has started a massive exercise of vaccination, led by the Honorable Prime Minister Sri Narendra Bhai Modi. Different chief ministers and other leaders also have joined. This speaks of our indigenous capacity. There is inherent skill, and our scientists have shown in this pandemic. Our country, our own scientists, coming forward to develop a vaccine in such a short span of time and make it affordable. It's a remarkable achievement. The legacy of self-belief, what Dr. Kalamji left us, that should really motivate all of us in every field. Even with medical equipment, having started modestly, we are now exporting PPE kits, N95 masks, and ventilators to other countries. I must compliment the government and the scientists for that untiring efforts in bringing out the vaccine, the other facilities. My hearty congratulations for the historic vaccination drive that was kicked off yesterday. Nobody need to have any doubts. And we have all seen how the program went off smoothly. I hope that every citizen will come forward. Dr. Kalam's term as the president was the pinnacle of his public life and helped him share his extraordinary vision, the common man. He constantly reached out to people and was always humble and down to earth. Once on a state visit to Kerala, he invited a cobbler who used to mend his shoes and the owner of a small hotel where he used to eat regularly to the Raj Bhavan. These qualities of simplicity and humanness explain his enduring popularity among the people. As the book suggests, his memories are truly immortal. One of the important reasons for his popularity among the people was his ability to achieve a synchronism in various diverse traditions of India. Even as the foremost scientist of the country, he enjoyed reading and writing Tamil poetry, playing the veena, listening to devotional Carnatic music. He delivered talks in the highest institutions like IIMs and IITs and was equally keen to visit small rural schools. My dear sisters and brothers, during my tours across the country, I have been taking a similar exercise, visiting institutions of eminence, technology, scientific research, as well as ordinary schools, even in the rural areas. And while interacting regularly in these various institutions, I believe this is really helping me to understand, also helping the children to understand what is happening, scientists to understand what are the expectations and aspirations, and also we at the helm of affairs to understand what is going on. This is a great opportunity for me also to share my thoughts, but also enabling me to get feedbacks and aspirations of the youth. Dr. Kalam was always keen in protecting the environment. At the Rashtrapati Bhavan garden, he nurtured medicinal plants and created an herbal and a spiritual garden, which attract thousands of visitors, especially school children. Even in his final lecture, I am Shillong, titled Creating a Livable Planet, Earth, he warned about the damage our quest for development has inflicted on the Earth's ecosystem. Friends, we should always remember that development and environment protection must go hand in hand. We must always live in harmony with the nature. We have no right to cause any harm to the natural ecosystem. Happy to note Dr. Abdul Kalam International Foundation is continuing his good work through projects like social forestry. My dear brothers and sisters, Dr. Kalam's books have been very popular among the young and old alike. I am told that this biography traces Dr. Kalam's journey from his student days, including his family roots. Many incidents are presented from the family's point of view. Dr. Rajan's contribution brings out many qualities in this great man and have made him an administrator par excellence. I commend the authors for bringing out this book and enriching our understanding of Dr. Kalam. I also would like to compliment Dr. Manikyam and his family for bringing out this publication. Dr. Mahalingam was a great personality from this part of the country. He was a freedom fighter, nationalist, and also man who used to keep in touch with the ground level realities and led a very orderly life, inspired many. I hope that foundation started by his children will take forward his vision. Also, I would like to compliment family members after Dr. Abdul Kalam ji for starting the Abdul Kalam International Foundation, and also the other members of the family for the same. I once again would like to compliment Dr. APJM Nazima Maraikayar ji and also Sri Rajan for this endeavor. Thank you very much. Namaskar. Though this is a small function, I traveled all the way to attend this function because of my love and admiration for Dr. Kalam, and also the effort of Dr. Najima Maraikayar in bringing a Tamil version of the book so as to reach the common people. Nandri, Vanakkam. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.
Thank you, Honorable Vice President of India, sir. So,